I graduate in May. How will I find a job if nobody will be hiring? Well, that's a great question because my generation, who grew up, came of age during the Great Recession. I never graduated from college, but if I had graduated from college, I would have graduated in 2010. Which would not have been a good time to graduate. And so many people in our generation were kind of in the same boat where, you had spent your whole life thinking that if you went to college and you got a degree and you did everything the right way, that there would just be some guy in a suit waiting at, the exit of your college with, a paper in his hand that said job. And that's how it worked. And obviously, for a lot of us, that really isn't how it worked. So a lot of us kind of evolved on what we defined as kind of the perfect job. We got more creative about, how we got into companies and what positions we started in, what, kind of jobs we were looking at. I think a lot of people went into college with a very narrow expectation that they would find a job that was perfectly in their field, and then ended up having to kind of expand that idea a little bit. So I think, being as flexible as you can be about what a job looks like and how to apply for it and how you're going to find the job. Do remember that about 70% of jobs never end up getting listed in any case. They end up getting hired from people that they already know or hired from within. So remember that, networking, as much as we all hate that word, and being really creative about how you make connections in your industry is going to be very important, but it's also just very important at any time and in any economy. But I think also, you have to go into this as positively and as optimistically as possible. If you go into this situation saying, no one's going to be hiring and I'm going to be doomed to getting a shitty job, that's probably what's going to happen to you. You have to go into it with an attitude of, well, maybe this will create opportunities for jobs that didn't even exist a year ago, or maybe this will allow me to rethink how I prioritize my skill set. And maybe there's another, element of my skill set that I can lean on more that I wasn't necessarily planning to use, especially if they're skill sets that are very digitally focused. If you go into it saying, I'm going to adapt, I'm going to find the best possible job that I can. I'm going to accept that it may not be exactly what I thought it would look like, but I will make the best of it. That's likely to be your outcome. I just think in general, and this kind of goes for a lot of questions that we've been receiving, it doesn't help you to be defeatist. It doesn't help you to panic, and it doesn't help you to think that you're going to be in a horrible situation before it's even happened. My husband always says that worrying is like praying for something bad to happen, and I think that's very true. If something is out of your control, don't worry about it, and in this case, it will be like what the state of the overall economy will be this summer, which is very hard for us to have any individual control over. But what is within your control, do something about it. Don't worry about it. And what is within your control is being a lot more creative and flexible about your resume, about how you're making connections, about the skills that you're putting into play, and even about the potential skills that you could be learning. If I were you, I'd be beefing up on a lot of digital skills right now. Maybe learn a new program in the next couple months. Focus on what you can control and lean into that. And don't get defeatist. You're in college, for Christ's sakes. If you're already getting defeatist and nihilistic, we're all screwed.